Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fresh and Friends. Today I am joined by Twister, the head coach of Team Secret. How are you doing?
Doing just fine, thank you.
I wanted to pick your brains a little bit, Twister, because I think Team Secret's probably been one of the most active teams across the last couple of transfer windows. Let's say that. But let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to February. You guys went on a sensational run. You made it all the way to the Six Invitational Grand Final, just falling short. And that was ultimately the end of that roster. So what was that like? What was that event like? How did it play out?
I think that event was special. Something that people don't know is that once we were at boot camps, we were playing horribly. I was personally trying to figure out already what we would do, like in terms of preparation and everything. But once we finished up the boot camp, people say that I got to speak to the players and say, guys, we know how tournament plays, we know how we react into those situations, and right now we just need to play and get our confidence back. Play by play, game by game, and stuff like this. And everyone bought it. Everyone I wanted to make it happen, and that's what it happened. Once we went to group stage, it was the first time they got first in group stage. And basically all the run that happened in the playoffs later on, we had such a great time. It felt so good to be playing into that team, and it felt like a pinnacle of what we were doing through the whole year. Even after Munich and what happened
Mm-hmm.
over there, we were very confident with what we could do in officials, because we were a team that always had this explosion in international tournaments, so it was very good.
Yeah, I was actually just about to reference Munich because Munich you ended up losing to M80 if I remember correctly, who
Yeah.
knocked you out. But I remember speaking to the guys after that loss, and they were still quite positive. They felt that on another day you guys would have won that, and actually that you could go further. So do you think the loss in Munich maybe helped the guys align a little bit more heading into the Six Invitational?
Back then, we were having a very big problem with our defenses. If you go back and check on the tournament, we were one of the worst defense teams, and that cost us a lot, especially
Yep.
because we were very good attacking, something that the other teams were not that good. So if we were a little bit more balanced, we knew we could have gone deeper and probably play our second grand final at the moment, but third grand final of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew about it. We knew what happened. We knew we lost 2-1. It was a tough match. Mady was playing amazing as well, but we felt like, okay, it was our game. We couldn't win, but we'll win the next one. That was the entire vibe, and we knew what we need to focus on to get better, and we did. Once we get to SI, our defenses increased, and that helped us
Yeah.
to go further in the tournament.
Did you know, obviously, after SI, everybody, knows it now, you ended up losing Adrian, you ended up losing Doom as well from that roster. Did you know going into SI as a team that could have been possible, that those players could have ended up leaving?
Yeah, it happened either for me and Vivas as well. We got offers for Jum and Adrian. They already got spoke about, and but we decided that we would go for the tournament. We would focus 100% on it and focus on us, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that we would be doing whatever was supposed to happen. And it was everyone's choice, and we supported everyone that wanted to make the changes and everything.
Yeah, fair. I mean, obviously, it must have been hard. In terms of then after those two players leave, you picked up Nathan Citizen, and I think it's worth saying maybe fell short a little bit on expectations during the kickoff, even though you did have two big players of your roster ripped out. So what was the reason to pick those two up? I guess.
I think I saw you speaking on Twitter about that as well, and look like you got the essence, of what we were trying to do. We
Mm-hmm.
want to try to keep the level, onto what we were trying to do. Citizen, a part of this last season that he played, he's one of the most consistent players in the game, and we felt like having someone that at least can hold the accountability, that can hold the pressure, would be able to help us on this Jum situation. For sure, we're not expecting to have another Jum, but it was
Yep.
someone that could be into a good level as well. And for Nave, we felt like same thing, experienced player that already could handle the pressure and everything, and extra someone that could help a Savage with more shout call and with more communication, something that Adrian was not much into because he was a
Yep.
little bit more a quiet guy. So we did felt like in a way it was for sure like a downgrade because Jum and Adrian are amazing, but in the other hand as well, we felt we could do more stuff and could be an upgrade for us. And even though with all the comments that we heard about citizen, about behavior, about Nath there with Canadian clash and everything, but I can say that at least into that side we had zero problems with them.
Nice, good to hear. Did you mentioned Nath and the shot calling? Because I suppose Nath was known as an IGL across a lot of his previous teams. You obviously already had a very established IGL in Savage as well. Did that ever cause you issues having two prominent voices? Because previously the team would have just been listening to Savage, right?
At the very beginning, we were trying to make it work and giving more space to Citizen and if to be speaking more because both are very vocal.
Yeah,
But we found out soon that that was not going to work the way that we wanted into a short period of time. They needed more time for them to understand how we wanted to play and how they could fit that and how we could make the team run in general. And well, we spent basically the first weeks trying to make it work. Once we saw it
yeah.
wouldn't work that fast, we just went back to the play style where Savage was the main AGL and people just needed to react on what he was saying.
So I suppose, players aside, was there any, in your mind, any other reasons why the team maybe? Because I think a lot of people still expected Secret to be making the major, to be, still competitive, and ultimately, I guess you fell short of that. Is there any other reasons, I suppose, transfers aside, that might have happened?
I think just expectations itself. For sure, it's easy to say that because we lost Adrian and June, then the problem was Nathan Citizen. But I don't think so. If you look into our game, into our stats as well, Savage and Mowgli
Hmm.
had a rough stage. Noah
Yeah,
had an amazing stage. That's what the main reason that I felt like why we were able to win some of the matches we did. But in general, we had like four players that couldn't play for different reasons, because of expectations, because of demand, because of showing up for some situations. And it felt to me like we were still going through the process of losing such a good team that we had for something
yeah,
that we already knew from the beginning that wouldn't be the same thing, that wouldn't be like so good that as we were having. Bro, that thing was so special. Like the boys were like in their off time in tournaments, just going to the snack room over there and picking up like I don't know, like some songs and try to do some karaoke there in the cell phone of someone, doing like one person per time singing a part of the song or trying to guess which is the game sound, that kind of thing. And something that
yeah.
you don't need to tell people to do. Some other things that I've been part to, we need to spend this team time, we need to establish it so people can engage with each other. But here, like it just happened naturally. That was the glue that this team had.
Do you think that's why that team of 2025 going into SI 2026? That's why they're so special? Because I mean, obviously, I saw it at
Definitely.
events as well. I spent some time with the team. A lot of time after Munich, but also at SI and when we were in Malta as well. Do you think that's something that you can teach to a team, or is it just something that kind of clicked naturally with those guys?
I think, as I said, like there's like a behavior and an environment that you can prepare for that kind of thing, but it's not something that you can force. If it's not
Yeah,
happening, it's not happening at all. And that thing, we had this environment from the beginning to prepare, to give them the space to do that, and they took the opportunity, to make it.
yeah.
So it was that's why I believe it was so special because it happened. I already saw this happening in the past with other teams, and I had this in the back of my mind, bro. This is what makes teams win in the end of the day, this confidence, this trust, and that kind of thing. And it happened to us. It's something that proves that this team environment thing is one of the bases for the team.
Nice. So let's go to kind of now post kickoff. The decisions made that Savage is now leaving the team. What was the reason behind that one? I guess.
He got a better offer. He wanted to go
Okay,
for.
so it was a Savage based decision. That's kind of what I was just checking. It was not the team. It was Savage who got an offer to go
No,
somewhere else.
for me, it would be impossible for me to be kicking any of the players that were here before. Like, even if
Yeah.
they were playing bad, even if they had a rough year, still, what we achieved together, it's like a full level of trust that I have in them. And I hope they had on me as well. So we were not kicking anyone, anyways.
Savage is obviously or was a massive, massive part of your team. We spoke about him as the IGL. So how did that feel for you in terms of coaching the team? That now that's 3/5 of that roster gone, and how do you rebuild it ultimately is the question.
It's basically starting the work all from zero. You know, all the processes, all the teaching of a new IGL, all the teaching of how to think the game. Especially right now, coming up with T2 players that are coming
Yeah.
back to T1 right now, and they need to understand what's the language that is speaking in EML. You know, like of going for TRS tournaments. That's what we are aiming for as well with EWC. So
Hmm.
it's a whole new process where you basically need to teach everything, and you need to give them time to process as well, because not like you have a theory session one day and then like they will be doing that properly already like in the scrim after on. No, it take weeks, it take sometimes even months, you know, depending on the people. So we are very patient with the results that we might have this season, because
Yep.
we are aiming for the long run over there with this, you know. And I'm very happy as well to give the opportunity for these T2 players, because I believe like on what we have in the past, like I already had an experience with a lot of older players, and
Hmm.
it felt to me like it's kind of the same thing once you need to teach them on how to play the game, how we think the game, which I think it's the correct way or the best way. So we felt like, okay, if we are having to do this teaching anyways, it's better to do with T2 players that give them opportunities, they have more ceiling to evolve and everything, than
Yep.
what people are saying that we should pick established players already that are on tier 2, that already played or whatever. But we already been there. It's not like, oh, okay, this guy already, I don't know, already got an MVP or whatever, and so he's
Yep.
massive. No, maybe they don't know how we want to play, and they need to adapt as well. You know, that's what
Yeah.
happened with Citizen and Nate, for example.
Yeah, so I suppose just coming on that, you haven't just lost Savage. So if I'm right in thinking, the transfers out or the players that have left your team is Savage, Citizen, and Naif from the kickoff stage, and then you've picked up Oscar, Flexi, and Drills. Now, I suppose Oscar and Flexi both played at the Six Invitational with Heretics, and I think they've been around the scene a little bit. But it is worth noting that I suppose both of the players are still relatively inexperienced at a tier one level. Probably Oscar's got, I'd say, the most experience there. And then Drills is a name that if you've not watched tier one, you might not know who he is. So, do you want to just talk me through why these three players? I guess.
Flexi, it felt like a very smart player that could think the game a lot, and that felt to us like as a natural fit on someone that we could see potential into taking this lead role with the team.
Yep.
Someone that can pay attention to the details, process it, and already command it. He's a guy that is on this process. He has the raw potential for it. Besides, like
Yep.
he's very good on gunfights and everything. Like he's one of the most aggressive players into the team, bring in a little bit of this to match Noah and Mowgli that are very aggressive, as you may know.
Yep.
For Oscar, it's the opposite. He's a guy that not like he doesn't think about the game or whatever he does, but he's more calmer, more chill. Even on his end, you see like he as a more established guy than anything. And whatever is happening, he's playing his game. You know, so we
Yep.
wanted a little bit of this profile that we have here in Secrets. I like to say that is the saint profile, the guy that you look up, that you can always rely on, that
Yep.
will operate some miracles rounds, you know, that kind of thing. It's the role that I like to call it's Oscar. And then Drills, it's like more of that T2 keto that just delete everyone on scrims, just have like some crazy frags, and he's very willing to learn a lot of stuff, you know. Main thing with that is that we already had three very aggressive players, so we wanted someone that knew how to play a little bit more as well into on the punitive mode, just to not have only Oscar into that. So now,
Hmm.
like, he's one of those players, but we are teaching him how to match our aggression as well, so he can play with the rest of us and progress around. So for me, like Drills was he was even the last player that we picked up. We picked up Oscar first, then
Yep.
Flexi, and then we spent like some weeks with both, and still making the decision until we came to this final decision to Drills. And I'm pretty happy to with it right now. He was like a bro, like these British players, they always love to keep making jokes about everything. They love to like being nasty about stuff, and it matched with the rest of the group. You know, like Oscar and him, they are the clowns of the team. You know, they love to make jokes. They love to make the environment light, and this is good for
Nice.
us as well.
Nice. That's good. Am I right in thinking that Flexi will be the IGL of the roster? Is that correct?
Basically, he has the responsibilities, but the main thing is, as he doesn't have the experience, Mowgli is taking part of that role as well. What
Okay.
that means, that he's still in process, he's learning, and he's the one that once nothing is being spoken, he needs to give something. That's how it's established. But once
Yep.
Mowgli is speaking, we all just follow Mowgli's idea,
Okay.
because
So it's kind
he's
of like a big brother putting his arm around him.
exactly.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I suppose that's going to be actually really important for your team, is that Noah and Mowgli do provide that level of experience, because, like you say, Oscar's probably the name that we've seen in tier one the most, Flexi a little bit, and then Drill's not at all. So as those three make the step up to consistently playing at this level, week in, even day in, day out, the
Mhm.
fixtures can be brutal, the schedule can be brutal. So I think it's going to be important that Noah and Mowgli do put their arm around them a little bit.
Definitely. They speak a lot. They like to share their experience as well. They try to put them in the correct places. And we all do that like in a very light way, which is
Yeah.
not scary for the new players, and give them space to do the mistakes, to learn from it and improve. And again, like it felt to me like the previous roster with Citizen and they've had high expectations because we were trying to keep the level.
Yeah.
Right now, it's no expectations. We are here to learn and prepare those players.
What does success look like for Team Secret in stage one?
I think we've been able to have good games against good teams, like not only winning against the bottom part of the table, but grab some wins against the big ones on BO3s or whatever. Like, for example, we felt like a failure, the top six last season, but
Yeah.
this season, if you got the same results, it wouldn't feel a failure for me. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because you're developing the new players in, EWC is already, sorted
Yeah,
from that point of view. So you're looking maybe a little bit longer term in terms of stage two as well now with this roster.
exactly.
Yeah. And I think it is worth, reiterating this is like, if you supported Team Secret 6 months ago to supported them now, it is completely night and day different roster and a completely new
Yeah.
project. And I think that's, important from everyone's perspective, that the expectations of this team are somewhat reset back from, it's not a team that's finished second at Six Invitational, because that team's gone now.
Yeah, and for me, like I think it's fair to say that it's the same process that we were trying to do from the past, and people were still saying, "Oh, Team Secret is shit. Team Secret won't do well, or whatever." But look where we came from for the last year. It was not like one season that this changed. It was a process that we worked across 4 years to make that happen. So. I mean, I'm not saying that it will take 4 years for us to get there again, but I'm saying that sometimes that's what it takes, to make a championship caliber team, and
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
A lot of work. How does it affect Noah and Mowgli then? Because we spoke a lot about the newer players, but these are the two players that you was at, and you yourself was at the Six Invitational with, and was dreaming of, and you won tournaments with. You won EWC last year. How does that affect them to maybe have their expectations kind of reset back to, actually, this is a developing project. This is bringing new players through.
I think like it's very hard for them. Same is for me, but I think like just having this shock of bringing the T2 players is part of the strategy as well. To help them to understand that we are not going, for example, with the former T1 players, and we need to keep the level or whatever. I think it's more like not about speaking; it's about seeing. They are seeing the processes that the T2 players need to go through. They are seeing what is missing from them, and they're
Yeah.
trying to help to make it better, and they know it takes time because they were there already in the past.
Yeah. And then just final question on the team from my point of view. Should we expect, we talk about level and maybe expectations in terms of the style of Siege, now that you've changed out a lot of players, will it still be this same style that we've kind of known to come and love, the fast, aggressive style of game, or will that change slightly?
That's what we are aiming for. Honestly, it's the main thing that we put as a footprint for Secret, and that's not because of Savage. That's because of me mainly. That's why like he
Hmm.
leaves, and I still want to do the same thing.
Yep.
Savage was built up on IGL. We agreed into a lot of stuff, but I picked up him from the start, and I built up him as well with my impression of the game, what I felt it was correct, and everything. And that's basically what I will do with the new players as well. If this will happen now or not, that's another question, because it depends on the response of the players and everything. But that
Yeah.
would be what we are aiming for sure.
That's what you're aiming for in practice, and then we'll see how it develops into stage one. Okay. So team aside, slightly little bit more about you. I saw your post that you're going to be attending the Esports Nations Cup, but not in terms of a Brazilian roster. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So it was a bit of a mess. I was waiting even before SI. I was joking with Rafael about it, saying that we need to make good in this SI so we can get called for ENC to represent Brazil and everything. So once he reached the grand final, we made a joke. Okay, so now it's just my time. If we do that, we are guaranteed because we were already planning to be like, if I get called, I would get him as my assistant coach, and
Yeah.
same thing in the other side. So that would guarantee us into the tournament. But
Hmm.
then later on, due to other reasons and everything, Igor was chose, and then for sure, like after Rafael's campaign, he was chosen as the assistant, and then I felt like okay, and I needed to move into something else. Even that was a dream of me. I really wanted to participate, but I think it still will be a fun tournament, so I didn't want to miss out.
Yeah.
So I reached out people from China because I felt like it's a newer region. It's good to try to give some help right now into the beginning and create some connections over there as well, which is very important. And
Hmm.
it clicked because people there felt like they wanted someone in ground to help them. That's why Feno was selected to be there with Dan and command the project. But they really wanted me as well to help to develop the players and help the team to get further. So uh, I mean, I was going after then because I did want to participate in the tournament, but it was
Hmm.
the only option that I had as well because all the
Yeah.
other team coaches were picked before. Once I was still waiting for the Brazil response,
Ah,
and
okay.
then
Yeah.
after. I got refused and I couldn't go like with any of the other teams like Portugal Savage invited me as well, mentioned like maybe you could come here. For Morocco they invited me as well, and most of them I said no. I'll wait for Brazil, wait for Brazil, and then once it was over I only had another option to go.
So when we get to the main event, China against Brazil could be quite a spicy game for you.
Definitely, especially
um,
because Rafael was on the other side. I love to play against
yeah,
him.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean, how does that work? Just because I'm completely curious. I'm out of the loop a little bit with the ENC stuff. In terms of the team, because obviously you've got a lot of these players that are playing across multiple teams inside the China League, some outside the China League as well. How often from we're in what May, the event itself is in November. What does the timeline and the process look like? Will you have practice sessions already? Have you had them, or how does that work?
That's basically the fun thing about this tournament. The 2 points is that having these different players from different teams playing out together. But the second thing is that will be a more adapted tournament than anything, because most part of those teams will have no time to practice with each other because they have like their own teams to be playing with. There's not a period without tournaments or anything. We'll just go out from Japan straight to
Yeah,
that
straight in.
tournament. So like the better is the team on adaptation, the better is the team on already have like previous experience together, playing FPL, playing rank together, that kind of connection, easier it will be for the group, Like I've seen majority of the teams just trying to kill some rank together or some Saturday or Sunday scrims, but that's all. No one will have like a full preparation or anything, unless like the team is very bad on like the regular leagues and they don't qualify for anything, so they have a lot of free time to
Yeah.
practice with it. But like the really good things that we're aiming for, like Brazil, France, United States, that are the top three. In theory, they won't have this much time of practicing.
I was just about to ask you actually about that because you said that you was holding out the hope for the Brazil call up. What do you think about the team that got chosen? Obviously, you are Brazilian yourself. You're very close to a lot of the guys over in Brazil. Would you have maybe picked any other players? Or so the team is Vita King, Palu, Handy, KZ, Cyber, Loira, and JV. I'm not exactly sure who's the starting five in that seven players, but there's a lot of firepower there.
That's what we were talking about with Rafael in the past, and I can
Yeah.
tell you who will be the five players over there, if nothing changed until the end of the year as well, for sure. But it will be the three phase and two liquid.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Leaving Loira and
But
Paolo out of it.
that's
How,
what we
how
were
do you feel
talking.
about that? Would you have gone with that or anybody different?
Yeah, that was the choices that we were doing once we were talking with Rafael, saying, okay, we need the entries, we need the IGL, we need people that are able to adapt, this player, this player, this player, and that was the conclusion we came off. The only difference maybe that we were talking about, it wasn't the subs. We were talking about Palu, but this lawyer option was between Loira and Dodes. That was the only difference that came out, but it could be Loira as well. So it ended up being the same lineup.
I feel like Brazil's got that deeper talent pool that you could have like Brazil 1, Brazil 2, and Brazil 3, and
We
they would
should.
probably be the top 3 teams in my opinion.
We should. We could. Like if taking out all the players of this team, like if you get all the five that I say, three phase, two liquid, we could pick up still Souls for another one. Souls,
Yep.
Palu, Loira,
Philippe Pox.
Felipox and Dodes, and it will be Brazil too, and still will be very strong anyways, you know.
Brazil favourites then. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Brazil, France, United States. Are you not giving the United Kingdom, Great Britain any hope there?
Bro. I mean, like if Brazil is not taking it, it's because like they choke or something. Because it's like the level of even the synergy that these teams would have for me is like very strong, you know. But
You've got the core 3 players of the best team to have ever done it in that Brazil team, haven't you? So yeah, I get it.
exactly. So I mean, the end of the day, if UK do well, it's because I mean they had the chance to, you know, not because like they are. Oh my God, it's UK or any of
Okay.
the others, like even China, even like Portugal, all underdogs across Brazil, for my opinion, and France and US are the ones that can like face it, you know.
Really do it. That should be the top 3. Yeah. Okay. I'm just, I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope for a Team UK finally winning something, but maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I very much expect, if I listen to my head, that it will
Let's
be
hope for
Brazil.
it.
Right. Okay. I think that will end everything. We've gone through Team Secret. We've gone through the journey. We spoke about Esports Nations Cup. Is there anything else that you want to say? Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of interest in this team that you feel that we might not have covered.
Just the only thing that I have to say, it's well, in the past, no one believed Secret would ever be able to do something. Everyone doubted the players. Everyone doubted me once I came here, and right now it's just a similar process. I said into my tweet once I was talking about it that. Some stuff just take time. Some stuff just need to be worked. But if we were here to believe that the team will be something big from the beginning, I mean, what can make you tell that this thing will be big from the beginning? You know, because that's how it started. On Secret, we were ninth on the league, and we ended up being first EWC, second SI. So, what is the rule for this thing? You know, everything can happen. So just be patient and keep living.
Amazing. Well, thank you for your time and thank you, for coming on the interview as well. It's massively appreciated, Twister, and good luck for stage 1 and Esports World Cup. I'm sure I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.